This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I am Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the DOTR's new lifeline on traditional jeepneys. A road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the zipper rule. This week's Buying Chuper shall be about the illegal use of mobile phones while driving. Showcase this week shall have the mid-sized SUV from Mitsubishi, the Montero Sport Black Series. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the 2023 Race Motorsports Club's National Slalom Series Round 2.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's episode of Motoring Today. Join us.
Are you thinking of buying a car but don't know what model you want? Then visit the Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines on May 4 to 7 at the SM Mall of Asia Concert Grounds. Get the best deals and test drive the latest models from Ford, GAC, GWM, Honda, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru, Suzuki, Toyota, and WM. The Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines. The one-stop shop for the latest car models in cooperation with SM offices and SM Mall of Asia Complex.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. Who's to blame for the shortage of plastic license cards? The Land Transportation Office and the DOTR point at each other.
The Land Transportation Office has resorted to issuing temporary paper licenses to those renewing licenses at district, branch, or satellite offices that have run out of plastic cards. Following complaints from motorists, the Department of Transportation issued a press statement saying that it was moving to expedite the purchase of the license cards after LTO's failure to undertake early procurement activities in compliance with existing rules. However, LTO Chief Jose Arturo J. Artogade laid the blame on the DOTR, telling a press conference that LTO is ready to procure plastic cards last December, but was instructed by the DOTR in January to basically stop all procurement activities because all procurement activities would now have to be conducted by DOTR Central. Artogade maintained that had the LTO been allowed to continue with its procurement activities, the shortage wouldn't have happened. The DOTR now says it was talking with the Department of Budget and Management on how to expedite the procurement of plastic license cards and is considering purchasing part of what the LTO needs even before the procurement terms of reference is fully evaluated.
No matter who is really to blame for the shortage, the LTO and DOTR should ensure plastic cards are available as soon as possible, but through proper and legal processes. Meanwhile, even while the Supreme Court issued a ruling that would pave the way for the MRT and the LRT to increase fares, the president decided to defer implementing an already approved fare adjustment.
President Marcos has stopped the light rail transit lines 1 and 2 from implementing fare increases already approved by the government, rail, and transport authorities. The president also ordered a thorough study of the economic impact of the fare increases on commuters. The Department of Transportation had earlier approved fare hikes for LRT1 and LRT2, a 13.29 minimum boarding fee plus 1.21 pesos for every kilometer traveled. A similar fare hike for the Metro Rail Transit Line 3 was rejected due to infirmities in complying with the requirements and procedures. In a press statement, DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista said the fare increase was meant to enable the two rail lines to improve services, facilities, and technical capabilities while helping them to continue providing affordable mass transport services. However, in compliance with the President's instruction, the DOTR will thoroughly study how a fare hike will impact on passengers of the three rail lines in Metro Manila, Bautista said. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has upheld the right of transport authorities to implement LRT-MRT fare increases, ruling against a petition filed by Bagong Alyansang Makabayan which challenged the authority of the former Department of Transportation and Communications to approve fare adjustments for light rail transits. The High Court ruled that it is a well-established principle in jurisprudence that the rate-fixing power of administrative agencies is a valid delegation of legislative power.
Commuters would welcome the deferment of fare increases. But will this deferment affect LRT and MRT operations and plans to improve services, facilities, and technical capabilities? Continuing, there is some good news coming out of the Department of Transportation, which has been recognized for implementing eco-friendly transport projects.
The Department of Transportation has received an international award for implementing transport projects that boost the country's economy and protect the environment. DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista received the International Recognition and Global Gratitude Award during the launch of the Good Stories movement at the Ramon Magsaysay Center in Manila as part of the celebration of Earth Day. In accepting the award, Bautista said the DOTR is committed to implementing more environment-friendly transport projects to reduce traffic congestion, improve mobility, and enhance the quality of life. These include initiatives like the EDSA Busway and Active Transport Program and the construction of more than 500 kilometers of bike lanes which promote the use of buses and bicycles for commuting. Bautista said the DOTR is investing in rail projects as part of the vision to provide safe, reliable, and sustainable transport systems for all Filipinos. The Good Stories movement, a campaign to highlight stories of people who care for the land, air, and water, was organized by the International Council for Environmental Law Madrid and New York, Institute for Governance and Sustainable Development, Washington, D.C. and Paris, Asia Pacific Center for Environmental Law Program, University of Hawaii, and Normandy Chair.
The DOTR should be encouraged by this international recognition to continue implementing eco-friendly and sustainable transportation projects. And finally, SMC's MRT-7 is looking at providing wider sidewalks and bike lanes and constructing its elevated turnback guideway for its trains along West Avenue in Quezon City.
San Miguel Corporation is working with the local government of Quezon City to integrate walking and cycling with public transport. One project involves constructing wider sidewalks and bike lanes underneath the elevated turnback guideway for the MRT-7 to be built along West Avenue near its North EDSA station. The 1-kilometer portion of West Avenue between Examiner Street and EDSA will be redesigned to create wider pedestrian walkways and bicycle lanes. According to SMC CEO and President Ramon Ang, the construction of MRT-7's turnback guideway at West Avenue presented an opportunity for SMC to help advance QC Mayor Joy Belmonte's push for more and better active transport infrastructure in the city. Mayor Belmonte approved the construction of the guideway as well as the redevelopment of the area, which funds the MRT-7. Pre-construction work on the turnback guideway began last week following formal groundbreaking ceremonies held by representatives of the city government, the Department of Transportation, SMC Infrastructure, Agafair Construction and Trading, and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. The turnback guideway will allow MRT-7 trains to change directions as it terminates at the North Triangle Common Station at North Avenue.
Cycling and commuter rights advocates should be heartened by this new trend for including bike lanes and wider sidewalks in new road and rail infrastructure projects. And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. Department of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista says traditional jeepneys can continue plying their routes until 2028 on condition that they are roadworthy. Motoring Forum will discuss what this can possibly mean for the PUV modernization program.
This year, drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys face more deadlines imposed by the Department of Transportation and its line agency, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. This time, a June 30, 2023 deadline was set for drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys to consolidate or join an existing cooperative or institution in order to continue operating. This is part of the government's efforts to implement the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, or PUVMP, which transport groups feared meant the death of the traditional jeepneys. But following a strike staged by some transport groups, the government reset the deadline to December 31, 2023. Soon after, the transportation authorities began talking about modern PUVs with iconic jeepney design as being acceptable for inclusion in the PUVMP. Now, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista is saying traditional jeepneys may continue to operate until 2028 on the condition that they are deemed to be roadworthy. Bautista expedited on this by saying traditional jeepneys can be allowed to continue plying routes as long as their engines, brakes, and seats are to be found in good condition. Does this mean drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys no longer have to join cooperatives by the end of the year in order to continue operating? Who will also certify as to the roadworthiness of aging traditional jeepneys? How can the LTFRB ensure only truly roadworthy traditional jeepneys remain on the road? The DOTR appears to be softening on the stance to implement through the letter Department Order No. 2017-011, or the Omnibus Guidelines on the Planning and Identification of Public Road Transportation Services and Franchise Issuance, or the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. The OFG was formulated to raise the level of local public transport to global standards, making it safe, reliable, convenient, and environmentally stable, which meant removing aging, smoke-belching PUVs. And few are now talking about the 15-year age limit set for PUVs to remain in service. The PUVMP hardly met modernization goals set by government. The DOTR said only around 6,000 of 200,000 jeepneys have been modernized, while only 60% have been consolidated. With the DOTR talking about essentially extending the operating life of traditional jeepneys, there is less urgency for drivers and operators to acquire modern PUVs. The PUVMP will surely slow down, but statements in interviews and press releases are not official policy unless or until backed up by department orders or circulars.
There is a school of thought that proposes modernization should not mean the death of traditional jeepneys. And traditional should not only refer to design or powertrain and new standards of comfort and convenience, but also the idea of the individual driver owning his own means of livelihood, the jeepney. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
Are you thinking of buying a car but don't know what model you want? Then visit the Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines on May 4 to 7 at the SM Mall of Asia Concert Grounds. Get the best deals and test drive a wide range of the newest models, all in one venue. The Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines. The one-stop shop for the latest car models in cooperation with SM offices and SM Mall of Asia Complex.
You're back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines. As seen on the animation, kapag ang traffic ay nag-merge sa single lane, vehicles must emerge alternately. Ito ay tinatawag na zipper rule. Matutong magbigay daan sa iba and wait for your turn. Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Flying Chaper this week.
Tayong super lang kaibigan. Ako si Marlon, isang kapwa nyo super. Habang nagmamaneho, kailangan buo ang atensyon mo at hindi gulo-gulo.
Ang cellphone ay isa ng malaking bahagi sa buhay ng tao. Halos lahat ay meron at gumagamit nito. Pero sana kapag tayo ay nagmamaneho, tigilan muna natin ang paggamit ng cellphone. Paalala lang, sa pagmamaneho kailangan ang iba yung konsentrasyon. Kapag ikaw ay nagtetelepono, ang isip mo ay wala sa iyong pagmamaneho at ito ay maaaring maging rason para magkaroon ng aksidente.
Kung ayaw mong mamultahan o maaksidente, huwag kang gumamit ng cellphone habang nagmamaneho. Si Marlon Gudmalin, payong super lang kaibigan mula sa isang kapwa nyo super.
Are you thinking of buying a car but don't know what model you want? Then visit the Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines on May 4 to 7 at the SM Mall of Asia Concert Grounds. Get the best deals and test drive the latest models from Ford, GAC, GWM, Honda, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru, Suzuki, Toyota, and WM. The Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines. The one-stop shop for the latest car models in cooperation with SM offices at SM Mall of Asia Complex.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next. This episode of Race Weekend takes us to the roof deck parking lot of Robinson's Metro East for highlights of the second leg of the 2023 Race Motorsports Club National Slalom Series. We are here in Robinson's Metro East for another leg of the National Slalom Series as they are back on track for a new season. Let's go check them out.
Well, in slalom, it's more of something like a time attack. Right? You're competing, trying to get your best time. While in autocross, you compete with another racer. So there are two cars at the same time taking off. Then the first one to finish naturally has a better time, except if they hit some pylons. So that's the difference. It's like in autocross, you're competing with someone else. Here, it's more like a time attack. Yeah, exciting. It's a bit slippery because it's made of epoxy coating, concrete with epoxy coating, which is, I think, not natural for a racetrack. That's why it's quite challenging. Yeah, we were trying to feel it, trying to figure out the breaking points actually. And if you make a mistake, you will overshoot because it's quite slippery than the normal track.
Medyo malayo yung difference kasi dito maliit yung track and then yung sa floor natin may paint, so medyo delikado, nakakatakot, so medyo control sa gas, and then ayun, medyo madami din siyang gutter, so mas maganda kung igagamit mo muna yung track para mas maganda yung maging oras mo. May mga part na hindi tayo pwede mag-late break kasi mag-overshoot ka talaga. Talagang glide lang siya. Mas maganda yun para mas maganda yung oras natin. May recommend ko siya kasi parang sa akin stress reliever ko siya. Hindi lang siya parang competition na makalaban yung ibang ladies or ibang men's. Pero kasi nagiging ko siya stress reliever siya. Parang pahinga ko na din, relax namin, and then bonding namin ng daddy ko. So, mas masaya kung mag-join kayo.
One heck of a season for us considering we were going up against a few of the best drivers in the country, naming the brothers and a lot of other pros that race in and out of slalom. Coming so close to clinching the championship, losing out by 1.5, definitely a heartbreak, but it'll always be an experience I'll never forget. Learning from those guys. From what I learned last season, everything has to go perfect, from the performance, the driving, up to the results. You can never take the whole day for granted because anything within the day could happen. What I definitely learned from my rivals is that strive for perfection. Every little details, every millisecond has to count. And yeah, and seeing how they win championships, I really want to apply that this season for me this time. Well, if you're a race enthusiast and eventually want to make a step up in your racing career, I believe that the Race Motorsports Club National Slalom Series is the place to join. Especially if you're not going to start in go-kart, I think for you to be able to learn the right fundamentals in controlling a car in a very safe environment, slalom is it's one of the best stepping stones in order for you to make your gateway towards maybe autocross or rallycross circuit. Slalom is gonna help you develop these necessary skills, especially when it comes to keeping yourself safe in any circumstance.
And that does it for our coverage of the National Slalom Series here in Robinson's Metro East. Be sure to check us out next week for more race weekend action. The 2023 National Slalom Series has had two different winners in the first two rounds. Will this continue, or will Richard Gallardo or Pawi Basa reassert themselves? Race weekend will surely return with highlights of the third round of this year's slalom season. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
Kailangan ng maaasahan, kailangan ng matibay, pang matagalan kasama mo sa pag-unlad ng negosyo. Modernong disenyo, kayang-kaya ang kargo mo ng tatak na ito. Isuzu Travis, level up with Isuzu. Level up mo yung negosyo. Isuzu Travis, level up with Isuzu. Level up with Isuzu Travis.
Are you thinking of buying a car but don't know what model you want? Then visit the Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines on May 4 to 7 at the SM Mall of Asia Concert Grounds. Get the best deals and test drive a wide range of the newest models, all in one venue. The Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines. the one-stop shop for the latest car models in cooperation with SM offices and SM Mall of Asia complex.
Our car of the week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. In this showcase, we take a look at the Mitsubishi Montero Sport Black Series Edition.
Mitsubishi Motor Philippines has found success with the Black Series collection of vehicles. It started with the expanded 2021, then the Strada Athlete. Last year, it introduced the Black Series edition of the Montero Sport. The Black Series is all about accents and garnishes done in black. Blacked out grille, headlamp extension, the bumper garnish up front and in the back, the black roof and roof rails, the spoiler, the shark fin antenna, and finally the 18-inch alloy wheels. The Mitsubishi Montero Sport with a dynamic shield fascia already looks imposing and sporty, looking longer and wider than its listed dimensions of 4,825mm long, 1,850mm wide, and 1,835mm tall. The 2,800mm long wheelbase and the 218mm high ground clearance adds to the go-anywhere look and capability that Mitsubishi wants for the Montero. Set against white diamond, one of the two color options for the Black Series, the black accents add elegance and sophistication to the Montero Sport look. Set against jet black mica, the other color option, the black accents give the Montero Sport a more striking, if not sinister, near all black appearance. Inside, the Black Series does not look like it differs much from the Montero with the GT tag. Montero sits 7 in seats upholstered in material that looks and feels posh, matching the soft surfaces of cabin, roomy for a midsize SUV. Montero Sport Black Series features most of the amenities and comfort and conveniences of the top-of-the-line GT 4-wheel drive AT. This includes a new 8-inch colored LCD instrument meter display. The driver's seat also is height adjustable. Quite useful on long drives is the wide central console armrest with twin cup holders. This is also where one finds the electronic parking switch as well as the auto hold function. The leather-wrapped steering wheel tilts and telescopes to easily set the preferred driving position. The steering wheel also comes with buttons and controls for the audio, the multi-information display, as well as the adaptive cruise control. The second row seats for 3 splits and fold 60/40 and features a fold-down center armrest. The third row seat for 2 splits 50/50 and can be folded flat to allow for bigger or irregular sized cargo or stuff. To make loading stuff more convenient, the power liftgate can be closed and locked automatically. Movement sensors at the corners of the rear bumper allows hands-free raising and closing of liftgate. The multimedia entertainment system comes with 8-inch display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, hands-free voice control, GPS navigation system, 1 HDMI and 2 USB connections, 6 speakers. The automatic climate control system features rotary dials, digital meters, and nano air purifying system to keep in-cabin air fresh and clean. Other standard comfort and convenience features include keyless entry, front accessory outlets, power windows, auto dim day, and night rear view mirror. But more significant than the things easily seen as included in the Black Series Montero Sport are those features that can only be experienced as they work to make the Mitsubishi's popular SUV safer and more fun to drive. These include such active and passive safety features as Forward Collision Mitigation System or FCM, Adaptive Cruise Control, Active Stability and Traction Control or ASTC, and Ultrasonic Mass Accelerator Mitigation System or UMS, among other advanced automotive tech. The UMS is particularly significant as it reduces accidents resulting from abruptly pressing the accelerator from standstill by detecting obstacles in front or behind the Montero. FCM alerts the driver with visual and audible warnings of the risk of collision and can automatically apply brakes if their driver doesn't respond to the warnings. Other standard safety features in the Montero Sport Black Series include Trailer Stability Assist, Hill Start Assist, Anti-Lock Brake System with electronic brake force distribution, multiple airbags, 3-point ELR seatbelts for driver and all passengers, ISOFIX and theater actors. All these driver assist and safety tech add to the already vaunted comfortable yet fun to drive character of the Montero Sport. The Black Series Montero is powered by a 2.4-liter MiVec diesel engine with variable geometry turbo which generates 181 PS and 430 Nm of torque mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission that drives the rear wheels. The AT comes with Sport mode that allows driver greater control over gear shifts using paddle shifters. The Montero Sport Black Series does well to maintain the midsize SUV's reputation as having the most comfortable ride in the segment. It also remains both agile and stable on highways and mountain roads thanks to the suspension system that features front double wishbones with coil springs and stabilizer bar and 3-link coil springs with stabilizer bar in the rear. The Montero Sport Brake System is equipped with ventilated disc on all four wheels.
It should interest those with moist eyes for the Mitsubishi Montero Sport Black Series that there is also a Rally Art Edition. That's our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the Toyota WeGo.
Are you thinking of buying a car but don't know what model you want? Then visit the Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines on May 4 to 7 at the SM Mall of Asia Concert Grounds. Get the best deals and test drive the latest models from Ford, GAC, GWM, Honda, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru, Suzuki, Toyota, and WM. The Autofocus Summer Multi-Brand Test Drive Festival presented by Caltex Philippines. The one-stop shop for the latest car models in cooperation with SM offices at SM Mall of Asia Complex.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
Isuzu Philippines Corporation rolled out the newly refreshed Isuzu D-Max and UX at a music festival at the Alabang Town Center in Muntinlupa.
We are here at the first ever Isuzu Summer Music Festival in Alabang Town Center. Here we officially launched the latest edition of the Isuzu D-Max and the Isuzu MU-X. It's the summer season and we wanted to give Filipino families an entertaining summer weekend full of good music, good food, and fun activities for every member of the family to enjoy alongside the display of our well-loved family vehicles.
Aside from displaying the refreshed Isuzu D-Max and MU-X and live performances from well-loved OPM artists, Isuzu Summer Music Festival featured free test drives, afternoon games, a dog show, and car club meetups.
The new Isuzu MU-X boasts a more premium and elegant look with its sleek two-tone front grille that has a magnetite and black chrome accent, coupled with its new 20-inch alloy wheels for a more upscale and classier vibe. Sporting a new Norwegian body color, the new MU-X elevates the family experience with its new smart power tailgate with step sensors, which allows owner to open and close its tailgate automatically without having to put down the baggage and taking the car key out. On top of that, any family vehicle will not complete without the best safety features. And with the new MU-X, you can get a 5-star safety with its active and passive safety features, as well as the advanced driver assist system or ADAS with Smart Duo Cam, so your family can be assured to have a more comfortable and safer drive going to your destination. The D-Max has always been bold and sporty by design, built to face the challenges on the road. Now with its latest edition, our customers gets to enjoy its new two-tone front grille matched with its new matte dark gray 18-inch alloy wheels. We also introduced a new color, Isla Gray, which will be available for LSE and LSA variants of the Isuzu D-Max. And just like the new MU-X, the new D-Max is equipped with ADAS with Smart Duo Cam for 5-star safety, making every journey and weekend adventure secure no matter what type of road you take.
Our new Isuzu D-Max and the MU-X are available in all Isuzu dealerships nationwide. So if we want to close our look and the first-hand driving experience with those two Isuzu vehicles, please visit the nearest Isuzu dealer showroom.
Motolite and the Federation of Philippine Industries have signed a memorandum of agreement to promote and implement the Balik Baterya program to ensure used lead-acid batteries or ULABs are disposed of and recycled properly. The MOA was signed by FPI Chairman Jesus L. Aranza and Oriental and Motolite Marketing Corporation Marketing Head Alexander M. Osayas.
As part of this agreement, this MOA that we have signed, FPI will encourage members and partner organizations through their huge network to donate their ULAB to FPI. FPI in turn will sell their collected ULAB to OMMC, which is Motolite, at current fair market prices. They will use their funds to fund actually FPI's projects and many advocacies. Motolite on its part will arrange for the pickup of ULAB. It will purchase it from FPI. Once purchased, we will handle that, transport it, and store it, which is important. It can't just be done by anyone because it is classified as hazardous waste. So it requires people who know what they're doing to be able to handle and store it. And then we will have that ULAB recycled by our accredited recycler, which is ERI or Evergreen.
The agreement to promote the Balik Baterya program goes beyond recycling and the protection of the environment. FPI also seeks to put a stop to illegal export of ULABs while helping the local battery recycling industry to grow and prosper.
The fact is, there is that ban. The law says that if the country has a recycling operations or plant, bawal na ho ang mag-export. Why? Because you have to help the industry finance their operations. Gusto rin namin na mabuhay ang recycling dito sa ating bansa upang sa ganun, we will not be part of yung mga toxic pollutant in the country.
The Balik Baterya program ensures used car batteries, which are considered hazardous waste, do not end up in landfills, rivers, and creeks. At the same time, lead and plastic pellets and other recycled materials from ULABs are used to manufacture new batteries.
So if we look at the components of a lead-acid battery, each and every component of that lead-acid battery can be reused. So the lead can be refined and reused back to new lead-acid batteries. Plastics, 100% of it could be recycled as well. The electrolytes can be neutralized and the byproducts produced are also used. It's either on the battery manufacturing itself or allied services like cement industry.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 36th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with the lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy motoring!
motoring.